Hey everyone! I wanted to take this week to focus on language, literacy, and expanding our book shares in the home. The first activity I wanted to talk about is called Making Rainbows, Repeated Writing and Tracing. Some of the materials you may need for this activity are blank pieces of paper, crayons, markers, or colored pencils of any kind, and if you wanted to create a sensory experience rather than just actual writing, you can use shaving cream, sand, or pudding. So, to get started, the parent will write large letters or numbers on an unlined piece of paper. As you write a letter or number with your child, say the letter out loud. So if you're starting with A, say A, and you can work on uppercase first, and you can also expand to lowercase letters after your child grasps the concept of tracing uppercase letters. As you start to trace the first letter, talk with your child about which direction you are drawing the lines. So if I started with A, I went up with the first line, down with the second line, and across. Have your child then choose a different color and trace on top of your writing, following the strokes you use, so up, down, or side to side, across. Encourage your child to say the letter out loud, or extend the challenge by saying the letter sound when tracing. So continue having your child use different colors to trace the letter over and over again, so repeated tracing to kind of make that colored rainbow effect. And you can even talk about the different colors your child is using while tracing the letters repeatedly. Once you have completed one or a few letters, you can continue trying different letters throughout the alphabet or numbers. Once your child is comfortable with tracing letters or numbers, have him or her try tracing whole words. Start by making rainbows with familiar words like names or basic sight words such as the, and, or it. You can also find more sight words by doing a smaller, different activity called word search. A word search activity is sitting down with your child reading his or her favorite book, and as you read each page on the book, looking at the different words on each page, try focusing on one sight word at a time as you read through the book. So this time you can talk with your child and say, we're going to try and find all of the words and in this book. You can break it down by pages and focus on one page at a time to find all of the words and have your child count each time they find the word and on the page, and you can total that at the end of the book. So this is just a word search to find sight words on each page of the book, and you can break down those sight words in this activity, incorporate them into the Making Rainbows activity to practice tracing the sight words that you guys find in your child's favorite book. So book sharing is great. Repetition is important for early reading. After your child hears you say a word, have him or her join you in saying the same word when it's repeated throughout the book. So you can do that along with finding the sight words. This activity is great for language in so many ways, so knowing the names, symbols, and sounds of letters is important for learning to read and write. When children put their full attention on writing, they focus on the lines and curves, which helps them recognize one letter from another. That's how they're able to determine the differences in letters. Tracing helps children remember and identify letters and numbers. So it even incorporates other areas of development such as cognitive. So writing requires hand and eye coordination. Repeated practice of exact movements helps the brain and muscles work together as a team. This activity encourages social emotional through children growing confident in their abilities when they learn to write and say more letters, numbers, and words before entering kindergarten. So if they have this knowledge beforehand and you continue to work with them, they can go into that kindergarten environment more confident in their knowledge and abilities. And even motor, children build muscle memory when they write the same things several times. So muscle memory helps children prepare for more challenging writing skills. So to wrap things up this week, I actually want to challenge my families to focus a little bit more on singing songs and rhyming, and you can even incorporate nursery rhymes too. So the great things about rhythm, rhyme, and nursery rhymes, they're repetitive structures. So these songs can appeal to our brains, the way we process information. So our brains are actually wired to respond to like music and rhyme and songs. So even as adults, we find ourselves getting simple songs stuck in our head. Well, that's because they appeal to us in the way that our brains work. So this is a great way to actually introduce rhythm, rhyme, and even you can do finger plays and poems with your children to encourage that early literacy and language development. So I'm gonna actually share a few cool nursery rhymes and songs that you can use with your children this week at home. And they're really simple, and you can do them even during caregiving routines, at the lunch table, if you're getting ready for the day, anytime that you have a moment to kind of sit and have that special bond and time to connect with your child. And this can also even help, as they can be soothing to actually help regulate emotions. You guys can, if your child is having a rough day, you can actually sit down with your child and sing a simple nursery rhyme in a calm, soothing voice and kind of focus their attention on something else to kind of help them decrease that stress level and bring their emotions back to bay. So a good example would be the 5 Little Speckled Frogs. It's fun. The children get enthused with the rhythm and the song, and you can incorporate the finger play, and they can count along with you and move their fingers, and it's a great way to help children understand the rhythm of songs and for the children's brains to remember the nuances of words. So it's a great way to begin and continue to encourage that early literacy development. So again, I'm challenging my families to try some of this week, and I'm gonna send out some nursery rhyme songs and finger plays that you guys can actually do with your children. Thank you. Have a great week, guys. Bye.